Global corporate citizenship asks a fundamental question. What role should a modern business play in the world around it? It goes beyond generating financial returns. It also considers how companies affect employees, communities, customers, and the broader environment. In this presentation, I'll examine the changing expectations placed on businesses and the management practices that turn those expectations into meaningful action. The goal is to understand how responsible business behavior is defined, measured, and integrated into everyday decision-making. Global corporate citizenship is the idea that a company's responsibilities extend beyond the market where it operates. When a business works across borders, its decisions can affect employees, communities, customers, and the environment in many different places. The central concept is balancing profit with purpose. That means acting responsibly, not simply because laws require it, but because the company is part of a broader global community. GCC therefore raises a deeper question. What role should a business play in helping shape a better world? The three pillars of GCC provide a balanced framework for responsible business. Economic responsibility means creating lasting value for shareholders, employees, and communities through sustainable and ethical practices. Social responsibility focuses on respecting human rights, maintaining fair labor standards, and investing in communities wherever the organization operates. Environmental responsibility addresses the organization's ecological footprint, with the goal of minimizing harm while contributing positively to environmental health worldwide. Together, these pillars connect business performance with ethical conduct, social well-being, and long-term environmental stewardship. The business environment has changed fundamentally. Companies are no longer judged only by their products, services, or financial performance. They're also evaluated by how they behave, how they contribute to society, and whether their actions align with stated values. In a globally connected world, reputation can strengthen or damage long-term viability very quickly. 72% of consumers say they're more loyal to companies that reflect their values. That makes good corporate citizenship not just a communications priority, but a meaningful business advantage. This slide shows a fundamental shift in how we define corporate responsibility. Under the old model, Milton Friedman's 1970 doctrine argued that a business's primary social responsibility was to increase profits, with shareholders treated as a central constituency. The newer stakeholder model takes a broader view. In 2019, the Business Roundtable said companies should create value not only for shareholders, but also for customers, employees, suppliers, and communities. The key change is moving from shareholder primacy to shared value across the entire business ecosystem. For key frameworks guide GCC, each contributing a different perspective on responsible business. The UN Global Compact provides 10 principles across human rights, labor, the environment, and anti-corruption. ESG standards give investors a way to assess corporate responsibility and long-term risk. The UN Sustainable Development Goals connect corporate strategy to 17 shared global priorities through 2030. Finally, ISO 26000 offers practical guidance for operating ethically and supporting sustainable development. Together, these frameworks help organizations translate broad commitments into clearer expectations, decisions, and actions. Management practices around global citizenship are evolving rapidly, and the shift is from broad commitments to measurable action. Three areas are especially important. First, ethical supply chains require companies to monitor labor rights, environmental standards, and fair wages across their global networks. Second, DEI must be built into hiring, leadership development, and day-to-day operations, rather than existing only as a policy. Finally, climate action means setting science-based emissions targets, defining net zero timelines, and reporting sustainability progress annually. Together, these practices make responsible business more operational, transparent, and accountable. Leadership is evolving from managing performance to taking responsibility for broader consequences. Global corporate citizenship demands leaders who can think beyond quarterly earnings and recognize how decisions affect economies, ecosystems, and societies. That requires systems thinking, so leaders understand these connections rather than treating issues in isolation. It also requires cross-cultural competence, because operating across borders means respecting local norms and values. Finally, effective leaders need a long-term orientation, prioritizing durable value creation even when shareholder pressure favors immediate gains. Together, these capabilities define a more responsible and far-sighted approach to leadership. This slide focuses on how corporate citizenship is being translated into accountability. Leading corporations are increasingly expected to meet standards that can be measured, rather than relying only on broad statements of intent. ESG reporting has become the dominant way companies demonstrate their environmental, social, and governance performance, and adoption among Fortune 500 firms is at an all-time high. The central idea is simple: what gets measured gets managed. Clear metrics make progress visible, support accountability, and help organizations turn citizenship into action. This framework also faces legitimate criticism, and I don't want to overlook those concerns. The central risk is greenwashing, presenting symbolic gestures as meaningful change without making a genuine commitment. Standards can vary widely across industries and regions, making comparisons difficult. There are also enforcement gaps, especially when organizations rely on self-reporting without independent verification. Finally, short-term financial pressures may conflict with long-term citizenship goals. These challenges don't eliminate the value of GCC, but they do show why credibility, consistency, and accountability are essential. The key takeaway is that global corporate citizenship is a strategic imperative, not an optional exercise. Define what it means for your organization, practice it consistently, measure its impact, and foster citizenship throughout the company. In a connected, transparent world, these actions build resilience, trust, and meaningful impact.